Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this little mesh shrug slash bolero, if that's what you want to call it. But I'm so excited because I don't know if you can see, but I use beads and I've never worked with beads before, so it's going to be so exciting to see how, well, I'm excited to show you how I put this together. What you'll need are 3 to 4 balls of yarn. Here's just an up close of the yarn I'm using. It's by the brand Ecofusion and it's bamboo and cotton, bamboo viscose and cotton. Here's just the details. And I'm using the color Joy. And then you'll need some beads. I've already got some beads from a necklace I cut up. And then I've got different color beads, sewing needle, and cotton. I got my beads. And then once you've got your cotton on your needle, I found the quickest way of just getting beads onto your needle is just like doing this. I know it looks absolutely ridiculous, but the other ways just take far too long for me. And if you want specific ones, you can just go for them, like you just stick your needle through them. So that's what I found the most efficient way for me. So to get started, we've done our slip knot, and now we're going to start with our Solomon knots. So we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then single crochet into that second chain. 1, okay, so that's our single crochet. Then you like make a little bit of a loop that's like 1 centimeter or 1.2 centimeters long, I'm not really sure. And then you catch the yarn. So let me make the loop a bit bigger. You catch the yarn and bring it through. So you have the loop, and then you go back into the loop you created to make like a single crochet. So that's your first love knot or Solomon knot, if that's what you want to call it. We start the second one, catch the yarn and pull it through, and then through the gap we created, catch the yarn. So you have 2 loops, then catch the yarn again and pull through both loops. So that's 2. Then we leave some yarn. Well, you make your loop, pull the yarn through, and then go through the gap you created and pull it through. So you have 2 loops on your needle, then pull through both loops again. So that's 3. Leave some space. That's 4, 5. So you're going to make this as big as you need to fit across the width of your shoulders. So I'll meet you once I've done that. And try and keep the distance you put like each loop the same. So it's not like you have some knots that are like super tight and others that are super loose, you know. So I think consistency is key. I'm also just trying to master the stitch, so you're not alone. And you count each stitch by the single crochet, so, or each knot by each single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't want to say 9. So I have about 26 knots. So to start the second row, you're going to miss 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets. And in that 4th single crochet from your needle, you're going to make a single crochet into that single crochet. I don't know if I'm talking in circles here, but I hope that makes sense. So you're going to go through the stitch, catch the yarn, pull it through, then catch the yarn and pull through both loops. So there's your one little loop. Now we're going to make 2 love knots. We're going to go 1, then 2. So this is our second one. And then we make a single crochet into that gap. And then you miss 1. And then in that second one, you make a single crochet. So you miss that one. And then you make a single crochet into this gap here. And I think we can use a bead now. So you want to take one bead, and how you work your bead into the work is, let's leave her some space. Okay, so now we're going to make 2 knots, so that's 1. I want to do it so you can see the bead, and then you catch. You can see the bead. No. Okay, so that's 1, and now this is our second one. We're going to make our second love knot, and then 2. Can't even see our beautiful bead. Actually you can, she's sitting right over there. Okay, then we miss one single crochet, and then you work into the second one, and I think I'm going to grab a bead. And now we make our loop longer to make 2 knots. So that's 1. Then we do our single crochet into the same gap that we've just made. And then we make our second one. And then now we've done our 2 knots, and then we miss 1, 2. Well, we miss that stitch, and then in that second gap there we do single crochet, and then you leave some space, and now we make 2 knots, and maybe we can catch a bead while we add it. So you get your bead, let it come down, so we leave a gap there, and then make a single crochet into that gap, 1, and then we do the second one, 2, and then we just repeat this process until the other side, and then you just add in beads wherever you want. So I'll meet you when we're at the other side. Okay, so now we are at the end of the row, and we've done 1 love knot, and now we're making the next love knot. So we need to make 3 love knots. So I'm on my second one, and then we can make our third one. 1. Okay, I just need to make a single crochet in that gap. Then flip your work around and go into that single crochet, so the 4th single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, and that 4th one you make a single crochet into. So I think we can get a bead, so catch to pull through both loops. Then we make 2 love knots, so we can leave some space. 1, 2, and then we're gonna miss that love knot, well, that single crochet there, and go into that top single crochet. Let's grab a bead while we're at it. So grab your beads. So that's okay, now we make 2 love knots. Let's move this bead further on so we can catch it. So that's 1. That's 1 love knot, and then this is the second love knot. And then you miss that single crochet there, and then work into that second single crochet. So that's 1, 2. And you do a single crochet into that gap. So we're just repeating this, and you can see there's our corner, and then you can see the pattern coming along. So I'll meet you when we are at the end of the row. And I don't know if you can see the beautiful beads. I'm so excited about the beads. Okay, so this is what mine looks like after 2 rows. You can see it. I'll bring it up close. You can start to see the pattern developing. So now we're going to do this until it is long enough, or however long you want it. And you can see the beads, and you can see a bit of the cotton, to be honest, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. I just didn't have a needle that was big enough, or the beads weren't really big enough to fit on the yarn. So like if your beads are big enough to fit on the yarn, fab, but mine aren't, so I had to resort to using a thread of cotton, which is not it won't end the world. So now we're gonna we're gonna end the row by making 3 knots. So 3. Then you flip your work around, and then you go into that single crochet there. So you got 3, and then this is the 4th single crochet, and you go into the single crochet. So by now I hope you get the pattern. Now we make 2 knots, 1, 1, 2, and then go into that gap with a single crochet. And I think I'm going to catch a bead or 2 while I'm at it. So obviously you're going to repeat this pattern for the front and back panels, and then I'll meet you once I've done that and when we are ready to sew the neckline together. So obviously to crochet the sides together, I'm going to leave the beads off, well, separate from my yarn, well, the ball of yarn that I have, because yeah, I think while crocheting things together it can be a bit messy. So I've just done a slip knot, so I'm going to go into that corner there, and I'm just going to single crochet. Pretty simple. Or you can do some chains in between your single crochets so you don't cluster your stitches, well, your knots together, you know. So I crocheted it together at the single crochets where, you know, each knot has their single crochet. So like there, you'll join it there and there in the middle where the single crochet is, and then there and there where the single crochet is. Okay, so done crocheting the neckline together, and I crocheted 3 gaps from either side. So 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. So that, I'll show you the size of my neck hole. This is it, like that. And then now to do the arms, let's get started. I'll explain to you how I'm gonna tackle the arms. So actually, just before we get started with the arms or the sleeves, I'm just getting more beads onto the needle so we have some beads to work with. I'm gonna do that with you now. So I'm gonna put this, find the corner there, and I'm gonna fold it inwards so the seam is facing inside, you know. So I'm gonna just catch my needle, well, the slip stitch there, and then I'm gonna make 1 love knot. It's 1. And we're gonna make the second one. Okay, so now we're crocheting in the round. So we're making the sleeve now, and we're doing it in the round. So, okay, we can see this is our circle that we will be working into here. So I don't know if you can see that circle. This is under the arm, and we will be working the same pattern round and round and round and round. So, and I'm just gonna keep that to the side. So, okay, and then we join to the next gap there in the single crochet. So you miss that one, and then you go into there, and you join with a single crochet. Then we do 2 love stitches or 2 love knots, and then into the next one. So it's the same pattern, but I'll meet you at the end of the row where I should have, yeah, when we are done there, because we're gonna have to join. Okay, so we are at the end of the row. So we worked our way all around the circle, and now we're at that last stitch there. So I'm gonna make 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 love knots, and then join into, so we did obviously 2 in the beginning there. I'm going to join into that first, well, the middle single crochet there, but remember to go into the whole one with a single crochet. So that's kind of the first row, and then we're just gonna repeat this until sleeve is long enough. Okay, so now I'm just gonna finish off that last arm sleeve, and I lost the seam where well, the point is where I joined every row, so I'm just ending it wherever, and I mean, you can't really tell, so I mean, if you just go round and round in circles, it will still work, because I mean, it's not like a perfect project, you know. So I'm just gonna end off here with a slip stitch, well, not a slip stitch, and then I'll try and sew it away. And then you need to finish the next sleeve, and I will do that off camera, so I'll meet you once I've done that. Okay, so we've done both sleeves now, and I just need to cut off some extra yarns where they're just hanging around, or yeah, or you can just sew them away, but I'm gonna cut them because it's quite impossible to sew them away. So I'm just gonna tie a knot here and make it even more secure, because we really don't want it coming out, do we? Then I'm just gonna cut it, and then I think, oh, here's a little bit of a string here, and I'll just cut it not too close to the knot, otherwise it unravels. So this is it done, and we can try it on. So here's just the top over bikini, and I think it looks super cute. So I just want to say thank you for sticking around till the end. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a like and subscribe.